So Kena Bridge of Spirits caught my eye as soon as it was shown at the PlayStation Showcase in 2020. The game instantly gives me Zelda vibes with exploring, climbing, its lush forest setting and the combat too. Kena Bridge of Spirits is very high up there in my most anticipated games of the year, and today I'm going to go through my reasons why I've added it to my watch list and why I think you should be really excited about it. Well, first of all, Kena looks like a beautiful game. It's got Eastern themes and mythology. The animation is similar to something Pixar would produce. The characters look cute and the world looks lush, and I just simply want to explore it. But let's have a look at the description, what we've got so far from Sony. So they say embark on a captivating adventure featuring a unique companion mechanic and thrilling combat. Immerse yourself in a story-driven action-adventure set in a charming world, rich with exploration and fast-paced combat. Play as Kena, a young spirit guide travelling to an abandoned village in search for the sacred mountain shrine. Find and grow a team of tiny spirits known as the Rot, who maintain balance by decomposing dead. Enhance your companion's abilities and create new ways to manipulate the environment and uncover the secrets of a forgotten community hidden in an overgrown forest where wandering spirits are trapped. So as well as controlling Kena, the Rot are going to play a big part in the game, and the Rot are small spirits and they act as little companions. But you can also interact with the environment in a different way to help you explore. And the Rot can also help you complete tasks, move objects and distract enemies and change into different shapes. So much like Breath of the Wild had the different powers like stasis and magnetism, it appears as if the Rot are going to help us out with that kind of functionality. It's an action-adventure game in 3D set in the third person. Instead of the regular sword that many game protagonists have, here Kena wields a staff and also some magical abilities. Later on in the game we can upgrade the staff. For example, it takes on the form and function of a bow, and with a few upgrades, so as you progress through your journey you're going to be able to wield different weapon types. So Kena Bridge of Spirits is set in a fictional location, but it's not Kena's place of origin, and the main village has been abandoned due to a horrific event hundreds of years ago. As you progress through the game, you'll slowly restore the village to its former glory, and we can see in the trailers that there's a few characters. For example, there's an old man narrating the trailer as Kena is looking for safe passage into the mountains. The story is also focused on the spirit world. People who've died sometimes cannot pass into the spirit world and they get stuck between the physical and the spirit realm. For example, if they've been traumatized or feel unfinished. Kena takes it upon herself to help these beings safely transfer to the other side. So Kena's got a scar from her hand to her shoulder, which is a cruel memento from a traumatic experience she had when she was younger with her father. The origin of this, and perhaps the one who gave her the scar, will be revealed as you progress through the game. We've only got small snippets of the story out there in the wild at the moment, but no doubt we're going to have more information before the release later this summer. So Kena Bridge of Spirits is being developed by Ember Lab, a relatively small team of 14 people based out in LA. Previously, the studio has worked on animation commercials, and in 2016 a short animation of theirs went viral, which was based on The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, titled A Terrible Fate. The studio then moved into game development by creating a prototype of Kena, and Ember Lab started pitching the Kena prototype around to publishing partners, and then signed a console-exclusive deal with Sony. Ember Lab partnered with Vietnamese animation studio Sparks to create the aesthetic. Originally the game was developed in Unity, but then shifted to the Unreal Engine. And the game was developed mainly with the PS4 in mind, but then Sony provided them with a PS5 development kit. In earlier versions of the prototype for the game, the Rot were the enemies rather than your helpers or your friends. And Kena initially didn't feature in the game, and when she was first designed and introduced, she was a little younger, around 7 or 8 years old. However, the team felt the game would require a slightly more mature protagonist due to the story and the themes in the game. And after a little experimentation, Kena's own powers were boosted as she was felt to be a little bit weak in the first instance, and the team wanted that connection between Kena and the Rot, and they felt it was a great feature, and that made it into the final version of the game. Kena Bridge of Spirits was initially announced in June 2020 at PlayStation's Future of Gaming event and planned for release late on in 2020 on the PS5, PS4 and PC, but the game was delayed in September 2020 and pushed back into 2021. In January, the game's intended release date was March, but in a recent state of play, it was moved back to August the 24th, 2021. So I think there's plenty to be excited about with Kena Bridge of Spirits. It really gives me Zelda vibes in a really good way. The action looks fast and the exploration looks fun. I don't know if we're going to see much in the way of puzzles. The gameplay shots have been fairly brief, but I'm a fan of the visual style and the whole package looks like it's coming together really, really nicely. Well, that is it for my look ahead at Kena Bridge of Spirits, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button down below, subscribe to This Week in Video Games. If you want to join the community, check out the Discord link in the description, or you can follow me on Twitter at TWIVG Podcast. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out the other videos on the channel. Thanks again, I'll see you in the next video.
PlayStation